Welcome to Just Some Points, episode 8. We are finally getting warm weather in the Adirondacks, despite the snow on Whiteface Mountain that we still have. So I thought we'll do it from outside again. This week was actually a pretty busy week as it relates to digital media and news, and so I can't wait to hear what you guys brought to the table today. So Nicole, why don't you get us going?
Sure. So this week it was announced that Facebook and Instagram will be doing Shop now. So as it is right now, you can do shopping on Facebook, you can list your products, and then it takes you to your website. What Facebook is rolling out is that these shops will be discoverable through your page, and then you can make your transaction within Facebook, which is a really cool step for people who do have e-commerce stores and, maybe their website isn't the best, or, maybe their store isn't so, user friendly. Now they can use this Facebook layout, and the same thing's going to be rolling out with Instagram. So we do know that if you meet certain requirements, your brand can have the shop feature on Instagram where you can tag a product, and then it takes you to their website, technically within the Instagram app. This will allow you to shop directly in the app. So if I'm scrolling, I get served an ad for a purse, I really like it, I can take my credit card out right then and there and buy it. And it will allow customization so it won't feel so static of that Instagram brand.
Wow, that's huge. That's a major dig for Amazon, I would say. Are they planning also to do the whole payment processing?
Yeah, so it's going to be everything start to finish. You're going to be able to get served that ad or find that product. You're going to be able to select that you want to purchase it and then go right there. There's going to be like a little mini storefront, so you can even add multiple products as well.
I do wonder what that's going to do to shop or to payment plan or payment providers like PayPal.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting thing. I think we're going to see PayPal definitely step up. I know personally for me, a lot of times I'm hesitant to buy on an e-commerce platform unless I see obviously that it is a secure site. And if they don't have PayPal, I don't very often keep my cards around me. So if PayPal is the way to go, if they integrate that with this, we'll be ready to go. And then
sorry, go ahead.
They are also looking to do live shopping. So you'll be able to do a live stream on Facebook or Instagram, kind of like a little QVC kind of thing, and you'll be able to purchase it right there.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow, I bet you will see new businesses or people that never thought about selling online all of a sudden starting to get into that. With the integration into the social media, into Facebook, that could be really huge. And if we really think about the ripple effect, there are so many where it will have an impact. You mentioned QVC, obviously Amazon, obviously Google, all the shopping and Google, PayPal, certainly. But even sites like Etsy, they will feel that because all of a sudden now, people that sell at Etsy, they might say, well, I create my own shop and I keep more of the taking.
Yeah, it's definitely a smart move on Facebook because with Google stepping up their game with the Google Shops, yeah, I applaud Facebook for matching the game. We're definitely creating an equal playing field for sure.
And one thing to think about is all of these influencers who have 1 million, 1.5 million, 4 million, 20 million followers. Now they have this platform to open a shop. We all know that they're monetizing half their posts, but now, let's say they want to push their merch. They want to push maybe, their downloadable fitness guide. Now they can.
Right. And they might also, resell hot products, and all they do is they have somebody else do the processing of the fulfillment.
Yep.
And they just sell through the shop. So that could be very, very interesting. What's the timing on that? Is it rolled out already, or is it announced?
So it was announced. It's starting to roll out to specific businesses who have that larger following and already meet that demographic on Instagram. They are planning to see this rolled out by summer. And then once this is rolled out, that's when they're going to start to beta test and integrate the live shopping as well.
Okay, that's really interesting. That's great news, Nicole. Tammy, what do you have today?
I wanted to talk about, of course, we love talking about new marketing strategies, and One thing that I feel like is picking up the latest trend or is definitely getting attention is the podcast. You know, people aren't driving to work anymore. So, you know, how many of us would get into the car, turn on our local radio station and either listen to, you know, this person or maybe listen to some scheduled talk show. And guess what's happening? People aren't driving to work. So as I sit here, I won't say her name because of course she would come on, but now I'm finding that I'm exploring other avenues of talk shows, other avenues of radio stations. And I feel like bringing podcast in also with the internet radio. Like, I feel like this is going to be the new way to advertise, you know, via the air kind of thing versus your traditional radio stations. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen to some of the local ad spend.
It's definitely, you know, it fits to what I will talk about in a minute too, but it's really certainly exciting, a lot of opportunities, but at the same time very challenging for advertisers and marketers because it's shifting so fast, so quickly, everything where you should put your marketing dollars. Anybody that is just keeps spending their advertising dollars the way they spent it 3 months ago, we have to revisit their strategy, what they're doing, because you know all the things we've been learning and seeing based on what we're doing for our clients. It's just mind-boggling how quickly people you know drop whole channels or reduce their spend in one channel and then we shift major dollars in other areas. So podcasts are definitely, you know, huge, you know, in terms of the impact but how it's shifting.
Absolutely.
Well, I also think it's important too that people realize that how important it is to be spending those marketing dollars the right way. You know, let's say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, people would simply run a Facebook ad and see results. The same with, you know, they would pay for a podcast, for advertising on podcasts and see great results. But I feel like it brings marketing into a whole different level. Not only do you have to be marketing in the right category, you also need to be marketing strategically in a way that's going to hit the audience, because now, you know, your marketing dollars, everybody's upping their game. So it's not just, you know, oh, this amount of money we're going to spend and see the results. You are going to have to up your game to see the same results.
Even with podcasts, it can't be a one strategy approach.
Right.
Especially where we are right now in our climate. You can't just put money behind a Facebook ad and go for it, or put money behind, you know, a boosted post and go for it. You have to have that overarching strategy that, you know, if you're going to put out your podcast, put B-roll in someone else's podcast advertising it, as well as make sure you have a social media campaign that pushes through everything.
Right.
Those are all great points. It kind of, the whole thing I mentioned, it fits to what I wanted to talk today, and that is YouTube Select. YouTube Select was announced, I think this year, a few days ago, and it will replace YouTube Premiere. And what it is, it will give brands more control over where they will present their content and where they advertise. YouTube is basically, I think they're calling it lineups. Yeah, lineups. And what lineups are basically groupings or categories that are better and more curated than what it is today. For example, they have lineups for beauty, basically for the different industry, for sports and subcategories. And they curate not only the content that, you know, you can advertise to, or the audience, but also you can now target audiences of creators or publishers, which is kind of interesting. So if you know of interesting creators of YouTube videos or publishers, then you can say, I wanna re-advertise to this guy's or her or this company's audience, which is really interesting. So for advertisers like us, for marketers. It's just fantastic. So it just gives you more control. But also related to this, the really big news is also that they will include YouTube TV. I just wrote down some statistics. Actually, over 100 million people watch YouTube or YouTube TV now on a TV screen per month. In March, 80%, they had 80% growth year over year from last year March to this year March, obviously due to the coronavirus crisis. But if you think about 100 million people watch YouTube on the TV, on the physical TV, not on a laptop, iPad, or whatever, or mobile phone. And so now it allows them to re-merge the online with the TV device. And the interesting part to that, while today you can localize TV advertising, it's still more regional and not really local. With YouTube, you can get very local re-advertising people to people on the TV screen through YouTube, through the YouTube platform. Related to that, and then related to what you talked about, Tammy, some really interesting statistics. Due to the coronavirus crisis, there is a major drop. Advertisers expected to spend 33% less on traditional TV. And so big companies like GM and Pepsi, they're pulling back previous commitments in TV advertising. And they expect at the moment that third quarter TV advertising might drop back by as much as 50%. You have to imagine 50%. That's a lot of money. And that's to your point. There is so much happening right now on advertising channels, and you have to be very careful how you spend your money and where you spend it. We know, and what we're doing with our clients, we work with our clients and convince our clients to really go more on the video sites, video platforms, video channels, all of those, because it's really where you have just a very high hit rate at the moment and conversion rates too. So that's it's just incredible. But if you think about that, if TV advertising is dropping by 50% in the third quarter this year, there's a lot of money to be captured by digital platforms, all of the digital platforms.
And Thomas, just to jump in there, think back 5 years ago. You're a small business. You want to advertise locally. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, especially let's say 7 o'clock at night when the prime shows are on. And if you think cable TV, satellite TV, they have maybe 10,000 channels. But think of these digital platforms like YouTube, Apple TV. What's another one? Help me out here, Nicole. There's millions.
Netflix, yeah, all those.
Right, there's millions and millions of search options. And of course, all these tie into your cookies, your history. So yes, think of the advantage YouTube has by allowing advertisement. I mean, the money they're going to make off of this is huge, because not only can you target anybody, you can also target the right person, which is huge when it comes to marketing.
One of the biggest advantages YouTube has on top of all of that, and a lot of people forget that and very often don't even look at YouTube like that, but YouTube is the second biggest search engine. It's the second biggest search engine. And it's owned by Google, meaning they combine the data that they have from Google and from YouTube. So the biggest and the second biggest search engine now makes major moves on place on the TV side. That's huge.
Not only that, but YouTube TV also offers very niche TV shows that are produced by YouTube or by their content creators. And this offers advertising availability for people who maybe kind of have a weird product geared towards a very specific audience that they normally couldn't get. But if they know that, all these people are watching this one specific show, or more than likely they follow this content creator, now they have that opportunity to get in on someone's TV screen.
Right.
That's a great point. I agree with you. Okay, there's all great news. Before we turn off, anybody having an opinion what's going on at Barstool TV, Barstool Sports at the moment? There's a big hoopla at the moment. With one of their key podcasts.
Yeah.
Any opinion on that?
Basically, their podcast, Call Her Daddy. The whole point of what's been happening, my understanding, is that these girls built this podcast on the fact that, they have low income, they're not making a bunch of money. And then the bomb was dropped. They're each making $500,000 a year. And people were like, whoa, wait, what? And the fact that Barstool's president got involved, and now, one's trying to go somewhere else and she thinks she owns it, but let's be real. Like, that would be like me saying I own Justin Points and I definitely don't. So it's wild. I highly suggest following this on the internet.
Yeah, that will certainly be like for weeks to come kind of episodes. So it will be interesting to see how it shakes out. The interesting piece to that is I was thinking is, if one of your key employees, or they will not be employees, but if one of your branches you have that you build up all of a sudden becomes bigger than yourself, and not that they're really bigger than Barstool Sports, but nevertheless they have a really huge brand. That's a really interesting dynamic. So I'm looking forward to see how that shakes out.
Me too. And I think the best part of all of this that I've seen is Barstool has a bunch of very successful podcasts. Obviously, Call Her Daddy being one of them, another one being Chicks in the Office. And Chicks in the Office came out with a t-shirt that actually has a picture on it, and it says, I think it says daddy, and then it says spilling the tea or something like that. So their other brands are capitalizing on this absolutely crumbling situation.
Right.
Which, of course, let's be honest, when it comes to crumbling situations, you talk about, man, you're just going to keep growing. Let's be honest. We all love those things.
Love to watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Love.
I would agree with that. Barstool Sports is certainly winning on that no matter how this shakes out, because it keeps them in everybody's mind.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because publicity, whether good or bad, is still publicity.
For most part, it works. I'm not sure if I would sign this for everything, but
That's true.
I know some people think this way. So, but I think it was a great show, and we'll see you again next week. So, hope to have you watching us very soon again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.